some point, I will get those emotes right. We are back, and for some reason my duty list has disappeared. We are going to continue on with the Heavensward main story quest. I've been done some other bits and pieces, including glamouring my armour because I could. Flame General Affairs. Alphino wishes to share his plan of action for rescuing Roban. Although the situation calls for urgency, it would avail us little to charge headlong into Uldar without a plan. Before we can formulate a plan, however, we must first learn how things stand in the Sultanate, which is why I propose that we visit Limsa. Ah, you heard me right. While you were about your altruistic endeavours, I acted as an intermediary in trade negotiations between House Vortalps and a Leminson consortium. During said negotiations, an opportunity to send word to the Admiral presented itself, and I duly seized it. I am happy to report that we yet have a stout ally in Limsa. The Admiral has pledged her full cooperation in any effort to rescue Roban. Accordingly, I have agreed to meet with her, that we might discuss how best to proceed. Naturally, I told her to expect us both. Your presence never fails to embolden our allies, after all. When you arrive in Limsa Leminsa, make yourself known to Sergeant Xanthiel of Bulwark Hall on the lower decks. He will admit you to the bridge. Nothing new there. We know Xanthiel. We've had many a conversation with him. Yes, we hit level 53. I went and did some Dark Knight questing. Got myself Living Dead. Got myself the very awesome Salted Earth. What else did I do? Got myself a new sword. The Dark Knight level 50 quest now rewards you not only with that skill, but it lets you. What's the word I'm after? It gives you this set. Provides you. Jeez, my brain. It provides you with this set of armour. This is heavy wolfram armour, which is interesting. Still not as cool as Frey's armour, but it does look kind of cool, and it is dyeable. So if you desperately want to be a super dark knight, that kind of works. But either way, it's only item level 90, so it's not great. The Admiral has been expecting you. Now, I seem to recall they've changed Merlub's voice actor for this.
Friends, 'tis good to see you safe and well. I will admit I had not counted on you seeking, let alone finding refuge within the Holy See, but full glad was I to learn that you had.
I kind of think I prefer the old one, but...
Thankfully, we had allies there who took us under their wing, and theirs was not the only aid we receive, I suspect. When we fled Uldar, we fully expected to become wanted men, known to all and hounded at every turn. Yet that did not come to pass. On the contrary, 'twould seem the charges against us have not been made public. Might we have you to thank for that, Admiral?
Sharp as ever, Master Alphino. On Marshal Terrapin's urging, the Elder Seed Seer and I demanded that the Syndicate suppress news of the Scion's alleged crimes. until such time as irrefutable evidence could be found.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty much all the new voice acting has gone very northern.
Our argument was simple. Lacking proof, to accuse the saviors of the realm of so unlikely a crime would have the people up in arms. In their wisdom, the syndicate agreed, as you yourself have seen. There is something you should know. Some few days prior to the banquet, the Elder Seedseer and I were summoned for a private audience with the Sultana.
Yes, we saw that in a cutscene.
There, she revealed her intent to announce her abdication, that she might pave the way for the establishment of an Uldan Republic.
What? But such an announcement would have plunged the entire nation into chaos.
She was well aware of that. 'Twas for fear of what might ensue that she summoned us. Her Grace wanted the Elder Seedseer and I to lend Rauban a helping hand, you see? To aid him in preserving the peace during the transition.
So, having somehow caught wind of her plan, Lolorito and Teleji plotted the Sultana's assassination in the hope of maintaining the constitutional status quo. But they must have known that her death would sow as much chaos as her abdication. Chaos from which Teleji alone might feasibly stand to profit. Surely Lolorito would never knowingly... Ah, could it be? I dare not hope.
Out with it.
The Uldan authorities have yet to announce the Sultana's passing. To allay any suspicion that may arise from Her Grace's absence, they have issued a statement to the effect that she is presently convalescing from illness.
Mayhap they're waiting for a fitting moment to break the news. Or mayhap they know of some other reason to delay.
Something else has been bothering me, Admiral. I was dismayed to learn that General Rauban is to be executed. Yet upon hearing the news, I could not help but wonder why he had been kept alive for so long.
Yes, politics again.
Pray mistake not my meaning. I am, of course, overjoyed that our friend still draws breath, and that he might yet be saved. But if his enemies truly wished to eliminate him, they could have done so immediately. I see no reason for this delay.
Aye, you've struck upon an important point, Master Alphino. Following his capture, Rauban had been held in the Marasaja pit within Uldar. In recent days, however, he has reportedly been moved to an unknown location. Queerly, 'twas not the brass blades who spirited him away either, but a band of soldiers decked in blue.
The Crystal Braves.
Alphino is not happy with the Crystal Braves, mostly because they mutinied against him and stabbed him in the back. Not literally, but metaphorically.
Aye. If I read the winds aright, the arrangement between Lord Lolorito and the Braves has come under strain. At any rate, if we're to rescue Rauban, we'll have to find him first. And you'll be glad to hear that I have already entrusted the task to those best able to see it done. Our friends of Doma.
And weirdly, this bit does not have voice acting. Rauban's survival is vital to the Earth Alliance. We can ill afford to lose him. But I cannot send troops into Uldar, so it's by the end of the Alliance in war like as not. If there is to be a rescue, it falls to you and yours to attempt it. Actually, she's not Northern, is she? She's kind of East London. I would not have it any other way, Admiral. It was I who founded the Crystal Braves, and I who must take responsibility for their actions. Spoken like a true leader, Master Alphino. By way of a first step, you should seek out our Doman contact. You'll find her among the frontier hands at Revenant's Toll, working in a kitchen. Off we go then. I think Revenant's Toll still are. Here it is. Ooh, this is a level 51 main story quest. Magnificent fellatio. Yes. Is there anything? There's no real point spending our poetics anymore. We could save them for stuff at level 60. Oh, I think she's upstairs. Nope, that's the storeroom. That's the kitchen. Oh, it's Higiri. Mistress Demajen, I knew in my heart that you were safe, but to see you again in the flesh, words cannot well express my relief. Even as the victory feast was taking place, the Crystal Braves turned upon us and took the rising stones by force. Amid the chaos, some few of my compatriots and I were to slip away unnoticed. Since then, we've remained in Revenant's Toll, keeping watch over the mutineers while awaiting your return. You've done well by us, and we Domans do not soon forget our debts. We swear to do all within our power to aid you. Notice the XP per quest there went up to 100k with our bonus. Higiri is eager to assist you. Shortly before you arrived, I received word from Limsa Laminsa that you were searching for General Roban. As the Admiral will have informed you, he was recently moved from his cell in the Marasaja pits. At the same juncture, you, Hazi, and the 3rd unit were observed leaving the Rising Stones. This can be no simple coincidence. Their purpose, we believe, is to escort the Flame General to the scene of his execution. Suffice it to say, we have people shadowing the 3rd. If you join the hunt, pray seek out Dware at Highbridge, where I too am bound. Dware? Dwari, it probably is, isn't it? Well, I look up and there's a chocobo. Chocobo butts. I'm sure, I've said this before in this playthrough, but I'm sure we spend most of our time in this game at night. Or maybe I just notice the stars more. I definitely noticed the lighting is better. Hello, Dawari. I notice that they have now changed into their ninja gear. Sorry, shinobi gear. I have been expecting you. Time is of the essence, so I shall be direct. Yuyahashi and his men are bound for Halatali. We believe that this is where they intend to carry out the execution. Hosan is presently keeping watch over the entrance. Let us make haste and join him. I mentioned in the previous episode that we were about to get a solo duty. Something they did for the first time in Heavensward is take chunks of instances and redress them for solo duty purposes. So we actually get to go solo into Halatali. Now, technically we could solo Halatali anyway because it's only level 20 dungeon. But this upscales it and gives it new mobs and new bits and pieces. It's not the whole instance. It's a chunk of the instance that has been, if you like, instanced off. But it's a really cool little touch that very much surprised me. And as met as it kind of is to come back to Thanalan after all the cool stuff in Ishgard, it should be remembered that I really like the kind of political, the assassination stuff, not the political stuff, the assassination and all the stuff to do with the Republic and the Sultana and stuff. It surprised me, but I really enjoyed that at the end of Before the Fall. So in a way it is kind of nice to be back here. You come at a good time, my friends, but moments ago the traitor Ilberd arrived and entered Halatali. From this we may be certain that General Raban is being held within. You'll also notice that the quests are a little bit shorter and yet still giving quite a nice chunk of XP. Also, we get a nice HQ ring. That being said, 21. Yeah, it's a little bit of an upgrade. There is no time to lose. General Aldin may be executed at any moment. You must enter Halatali and free him for his captors. Please see to your preparations and tell me when you are ready to proceed. One of our own will accompany you inside. If your level is above 53, it will be synced. It is not. Yogiri!
Pray, forgive me my lateness.
Lady Ugiri!
Master Alphino, I am pleased to see that the light of resolve shines in your eyes once more.
Ah, yes. How pathetic I must have seemed to you when we last met. I am ashamed to record it. For a time I was well and truly lost. But with the aid of my comrades, I have since refound my purpose, and I shall take care not to misplace it again.
And he does have a bit more humility in him now.
Since your escape from Ulda, my fellow shinobi and I have shadowed the Crystal Braves every step, in hopes of learning the Scion's whereabouts. Regrettably, our investigation has yet to yield any useful information. Pray, forgive us.
You need not apologize, my lady. We are grateful for all that you have done on our behalf. Besides, Ralban is no less a friend, and we cannot well abandon him to his fate.
That curl still annoys me.
Hozan, the three of us shall attend to the Flame General's rescue. Pray, draw away the guards by the entrance. Take Daware and Higiri with you.
'Tis Dawari, yes. I thought it might be. That's just cheating.
With me!
Yeah. So yeah, this was the first time they did this, and it was a bit of a shock actually that we actually got to go into Halatali, and I do remember saying, "Oh, this is really cool." There's a soul from the Colosseum to be seen. Let's actually tank this properly. I think Yugiri is programmed to attack whoever you're attacking. Obviously, we've done solo duties before, where we've had NPCs fighting alongside us. That was surprisingly loud. But this is the first time we've gone into a recognisable dungeon.
Leave this to me.
Yeah, your NPC allies do talk more as well. They have little incidental lines, which is nice. Again, it adds that little bit of extra depth. It is, in some ways, kind of a shame to hear Yugiri talk, though, because the voice actress that played her in this expansion was murdered. And for almost the entirety of the end of Heavensward, she didn't appear, out of respect for the life lost. And it wasn't until Stormblood, actually, or maybe it may have been late Heavensward, I can't remember, that they actually found somebody to replace her. But yeah, it was a really sad story. The general, where always kept us. You came. A barn, no arm. They made a custom model for this. He is bound by some manner of magic tech device, yet I dare not force it open. It may well be booby-trapped. I have heard of such devices. The Crystal Braves will possess the key. Let us split up and look for it. This device actually is used in Halatali hard mode. The bubble is used to protect us from the massive Cyclops mob. Ilbird. Oh no, it's Yuhazi. Pray do not take it personally, my friends. You are the victims of harsh economic conditions. Happily, you will not suffer for long. This poison will convey you swiftly into the bosom of Thal, where I hope to join you after the passing of many prosperous years. Oh god, yeah, he fills the whole place with poison and we have to fight our way through it. Right. No, the barn, we are not leaving you. Yes, we've got concentrated poison. They even made a new icon for this. Unless it's used somewhere else in the... Acerbic Jam? That sounds like some kind of indie rock band. So we need to go and find the source of the mist. Best thing is we can now sprint, which of course we couldn't do before, because before 4.0 sprinting drained your TP, and as long as if you weren't a caster, that would absolutely screw you. This is potentially dangerous. Ah, it's up there. Ooh, yes, this might have been a bad... One strongly suspects that you probably shouldn't do it this way on anything except a tank. Right, so that's the poison dealt with. Keep me up, Alphino. Yeah, there we go. Wow. Reminds me, I changed. I changed the flying combat text size. Thought I'd try it. Turns out, don't like it. Not that way. If you go through the red line, you leave the duty. This way. No, well, why am I marking you? No, no cures for you. Ha! Dodged your quick nudge, bitches. I imagine this must be fairly difficult actually on non-tank jobs. Red Mage would have no problem with it. But the squishies, the mages and such like, can't imagine it's particularly easy. One suspects the healers will be okay because they've got regens. Scholars might struggle. Key. Right. Yes, thank you, Alphino. I would never have thought of that. Ahem. It's a bit of a run back. Do we have to fight something else on the way? Can't remember. Oh, there's a load of mist down there. It's always been there. Right, let's get you out of those chains. My thanks. Slowly, General. You are yet weak from your ordeal. Nevertheless, we must quit this place. I should have known. What are clever contrivances to the Warrior of Light? Well done, hero. Gilbert. It's a show about Laurentius. Gilbert. He wanted a second chance and he's wasted it. You mean to struggle on then? Very well. If you'd stand in my way, I'll cut you down like all the rest. Come, Science, let's get this over with. Right, let's get this Conjurer dead first. Oop.
I have you now.
It is nothing.
Yet.
Sloppy!
I'll tear you limb from limb.
Yes, when Laurentius was going on about second chances and about how he just got out of prison and he was really looking forward to making a difference, it is kind of a shame that he made basically the same mistakes selling people out.
For Alamigo!
I'm sure that's a line that he uses later. Annoyingly, your allies will not get out of the way. Either way, Ilbert, you're screwed. I love the fact that he used convalescence. Your healers are dead.
This changes nothing.
You see, he's now very northern compared to his quite proper speech before.
It is over, Ilbert. Lay down your arms and surrender yourself to justice.
Justice? Justice for what exactly? 'Twas not I who assassinated the Sultana, boy.
You did say it was you, though.
Ere we debate who is responsible for the assassination, I would ask whether an assassination took place at all.
Yes.
Oh, clever little shite. If you think you fight for justice, lass, you best wake up. The truth is, you fight for whoever bloody well tells you to. Can you not see you're being used by the Scions, the city-states, even the Crystal Braves? They none of them care a whit what you want, only what you can do for them.
Which is kind of what Frey was telling us in the Dark Knight quests.
And how do I know this? Because I'm the same. A pawn to be used as my masters see fit. All I ever wanted was to liberate my homeland, and I ate dirt to make it happen. But what have I achieved after all these years in servitude? Nothing. Not a bloody thing. If we ourselves are not free, free to think and to act, how are we ever to reclaim our homeland? Know this. There is nothing I would not give to take back Alamigo. Nothing!
And at the end of the 3.x storyline, he makes good on that. Ooh.
You'll not get away!
Yeah, we will.
No, Master Alpha, no. Now is not the time.
I'm but a cripple and a fool. And still you came for me. And when you're dead.
Raban's new voice actor I do prefer over the original. I'm not a huge fan of Merlowibs, but Raban's definitely, and we hear a lot more of Raban anyway.
We are all of us fools of fate, General. But even fools have a part to play.
On your feet, Gladiator. This fight's not
Rest
over.
assured, I was not planning to die till I'd avenged the Sultana. Still, your words are welcome, lass.
But Alfna doesn't think that she's been assassinated.
Know this, Ilbert. There is nothing I would not give to see you pay for what you've done. My wealth, my arm, my life. Nothing.
General, are you aware that Lord Lolorito has yet to announce the Sultana's death to the public?
What? No. No, I was not aware of that, nor of anything else outside my cell. 'Tis passing strange, though. I assumed the bastard would make it known at the first opportunity, and set about tearing down the Sultanate.
But he hasn't.
As did we all. And it is indeed strange that he did not. Strange, or perhaps revealing. Now, I have no conclusive proof, nor do I wish to give you false hope, but I have reason to believe that Her Grace may yet live.
I worked that out without meaning to blow my own horn here, I actually had that suspicion by the end of the final cutscenes in 2.55. The handmaiden meeting Lolorito. I came to the conclusion that what I thought happened was that Lolorito figured out what the Sultana was going to do, and Teleji Adeleji was going to stop her, and I think Lolorito had a hand in making sure that Teleji got his comeuppance, and the only way of sorting him for good was to make everybody believe that the Sultana had died and Raban would snap and get rid of Teleji, because there was no other way of touching him. That was my initial thoughts, but we'll find out how far off the mark I was.
What? But how can that be?
Forgive me, friends, but it is not safe here. Let us continue this conversation without...
Ooh, that tessellation on the floor. In Heavensward, they introduce a new DX11 thing, I think it was, that gives this slightly bumpy quality to certain textures. The thing is, it's kind of an automatic thing, and you can kind of see there that it doesn't always work particularly well. Don't worry. The General is safe. What news without? My lady, the guards have been subdued as per your command. We have since kept watch over the entrance. There has been no further activity. And Ilberd and his minions have fled via some other egress. Scour the perimeter for signs of their passing. At once, my lady. General Alden, I presume, and the signs of the seventh dawn. Whooshing. Who are you? Identify yourself. Pray do not be alarmed. My mistress is a friend, and I come bearing a message of goodwill. For your own safety, she bid me direct your steps to the Waking Sands. Know that Master Urianger awaits you there, along with others sympathetic to your cause. This is no ruse, I assure you. General Alden, if you will come with me, I have prepared a carriage that you may travel in comfort, safe from prying eyes. Lots of nodding. I can't remember who the mistress is. I've spoken with Urianger via Linkpearl. He confirms the man's story. Raban is in safe hands. Let us make our own way to Vesper Bay. Why can't we just take the carriage? That'd be quicker. Still a little bit of a trek. We would need to unlock the hunt and do a load of hunts to get the items for the second star. It's a little bit more of a trek that not a trek, a little bit more of a hassle than it needs to be honest. I think the items that unlock the second rank are a bit too expensive. Nedrick. Oh, he's still got the relic quest to do. Urianger! Hi.
My dearest friends, praise be unto the 12 for delivering you from the clutches of treachery.
You'll notice that he's not doing his general fancy speech.
Father!
Ah, Pippin.
Pippin! My son! And Master Papashan besides!
Forgive me, Father. I should have been at Her Grace's side.
But she's not dead.
Save your tears. The Sultana yet lives.
You!
Ah, this is her mistress.
It was I who arranged this gathering.
His mistress. I don't know who this is.
And judging by your perplexed expressions, it would seem introductions are in order. I am Dulala, head of the Order of Noldthor, and member of the Syndicate.
What you said about the Sultana, is it true? Is she alive?
Yes.
Young lady, I understand you were with the Sultana when she drank from the poisoned goblet and collapsed. Would I be correct in assuming that you did not personally verify Her Grace's vital signs?
Nobody did. If I remember correctly, Teleji Adeleji bent down near her, but didn't go anywhere near to actually checking her vitals. He just said that she was dead.
Why ask when 'tis plain you know the answer?
To remind the player.
Calm yourself, General, and let me finish. The truth is not as you imagine it. You are all victims of a most ingenious ruse. A ruse conceived to eliminate the threat posed by Teleji Adeleji.
Called it.
It is my belief that Teleji plotted the Sultana's assassination alone, but that Lolorito caught wind of his plot and exploited it to his own ends.
Called that as well.
He sought to manipulate you into eliminating Teleji for him, and you duly obliged. At one fell swoop, he removed his two foremost rivals, all the while remaining above suspicion.
Kind of called that. At least the elimination bit.
God strike me down for a fool. But the Sultana, how can it be that she lives?
She lives because Lolorito willed it. Her own lady-in-waiting is but one of his many little birds. By her sleight of hand, the poison was switched for a less deadly draught before it could reach her mistress's lips.
Called that as well.
Some manner of sedative, perchance, of a potency sufficient to induce a slumber like unto death.
Were I to guess, I would say Her Grace is being held somewhere, dreaming dreams of a brighter Uldar, even as we speak.
Oh, Nanamo. I will never forgive Lolorito for his part in this.
Though Lolorito's hands are far from clean, they did pluck Her Grace from the jaws of death. That must count for something.
Yes.
And though one may call the man's methods into question, it cannot be denied that he knows the value of stability, to the very gill, like as not. He craves power, 'tis true, but he has no desire to depose the Sultana.
No, the status quo benefits him. The Republic and chaos does not.
I had never taken sides in your feud with the monetarists, but it was not for want of concern for our nation's welfare. Indeed, 'twas out of the desire to see order restored that I furnished your Far Eastern friends with information, and arranged this gathering. I hope you are ready to work, General, for there is much work to be done. Our first priority must be to bring matters back into balance. Lest you forget Her Grace's words, the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people.
That's a nice callback to some of the early stories.
As for the more worldly kind of wealth, I am content to let Lolorito help himself to whatever Teleji Adeleji left behind. You,
probably
meanwhile,
quite a lot.
must do that which you alone can do. Rescue her grace and take your place at her side once more, for her sake and that of our nation.
So this is part 1 of that storyline complete. I don't think we get to finish it off now. I think we come back to the stuff about Nanamo afterwards. I'd not counted on Prioress Duala herself appearing. In my defence, my suspicions regarding the Sultana proved more prescient. Much remains to be done, but in rescuing Raban, we have taken a vital first step towards resolving matters in Uldar. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Jailbreak. Do I get a title for that? I do. New title. Kill. To siege or not to siege? Alphino is distracted by a call on his link pearl. Tataru? Yes, General Raban is now in safe hands. What? Another assault? Very well, we shall leave at once. Pray notify the Count of our coming. It would seem we face another crisis. The Dravanians are preparing to resume their siege on the Holy See. Though I am loath to abandon the Sultana to her fate, we lack the necessary evidence to act upon Julala's claims. That being the case, I propose we leave Marshal Taupin and the others to investigate and return with all haste to Ishgard. So, I should probably have set my home point to Foundation now I think about it, because we don't head back to Mordona for ages. Oh wait, my home point was in Uldar. That's of little use. Right, Ethernet, last vigil. Ah, there you are. Sorry for cutting your reunion with General Barnes short. I wouldn't have bothered you, but the city's awash with rumours of another Dravanian attack, and Lord Horshaphant was desperate to get hold of you. Speaking of whom, he and the others are waiting for you inside, so you better head in. Ooh, there's another solo duty coming up soon. Horshaphant, we are here. My friend! I thank you for answering our call with such alacrity. As I'm sure you are now aware, the Dravanians are once more gathering for war. Mistress Thornley, Master Levier, I must apologise for this abrupt summons, but we thought it best to have Mistress Tataru contact you by the most direct means available. When the Observatorian's bells toll, it is a warning that cannot be ignored. The Holy See has ordered that we make ready for battle. In case you haven't heard, a band of trappers returned from the west claimed they saw a cloud of dragons big enough to dim the midday sky. Nidhogg's minions gather once more for war. But I would not have you take up arms in another of our conflicts. When first you came to Ishgard, I offered my protection. If I cannot ensure your safety here, I cannot well accept your aid, much less ask for it. Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are faced with a choice: to remain in a besieged Ishgard or seek sanctuary elsewhere. I would not presume to influence your decision, but I must ask that you make it swiftly, lest our enemies force your hand. Ooh, let's see, what are we going to do? I think we're probably going to stick and fight, aren't we? Though we flee to the ends of the world, there would seem no place in this troubled age is free of strife. Once more the horde descends upon Ishgard, and once more her weary defenders must take up spear and bow. The Count would have us seek shelter from this storm, but I, for one, grow tired of running. If we are to shine the light of dawn, we must do so in the sight of our fellow man, not hunkered in a hole. What say you? I would stay and fight. Then fight we shall. Let it never be said that we abandoned our allies in that hour of need. The choice we make this day may have grave implications for our order. It is only right that Totaro should have a say. Come, let's all meet outside and discuss the path that lies before us. Bum, 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 bum.
Ishgard cannot well endure another assault. Even should her knights succeed in turning back the horde, the casualties will be catastrophic.
But what other choice do we have? It's not like we can talk it over with them. Dragons and men aren't exactly on speaking terms.
Maybe we should do something about that.
With certain notable exceptions.
You don't mean Iceheart?
When last you spoke with her, she lamented her crimes, did she not?
She did.
Then there remains a sliver of hope. If we can persuade Iceheart to act as our intermediary, we may yet be able to convince Nidhogg to abandon his bloody course.
It's a bit of a stretch, though.
If there is to be a meeting, I would accompany you.
Oh, hey, Estinian.
Estinian?
Has he got darker armour than before?
Even with your intermediary, Nidhogg's blood rage may render him deaf to reason. However, the mere attempt may afford our forces precious time to prepare. Of course, you might also consider a more direct approach to ending this conflict. With the power of the Eye at my disposal, and the vaunted strength of the Warrior of Light, we could conceivably slay the beast outright.
Alas, Nidhogg is a bit too high level for us.
If we are to risk a face-to-face meeting with the Dread Worm, I for one would feel safer in the company of the Azure Dragoon. However, I should only turn to your alarms if my words failed to find their mark. Is that clear?
Ew.
Perfectly. I shall assume that Iceheart enjoys similar diplomatic protection until instructed otherwise. A word of advice. Think carefully before divulging the particulars of this plan to Sir Emeric. 'Twould not do to have the Lord Commander accused of consorting with heretics.
Yes, Estinian is afforded a certain degree of protection as the Azure Dragoon.
Indeed. I thank you for your counsel, Estinian. We shall be honoured to have you with us.
I'm glad to be of service.
He's very diplomatic, is Alphino. We've chosen a difficult road, yet even should we succeed in winning Iceheart to our cause, our plan for parley will swiftly come to nothing should the Holy See decide to strike first against the Horde. We must petition the Lord Commander's aid before we set forth. I only hope that Sir Emeric will be willing to muzzle Ishgard's forces on the strength of our vague assurances. Totaro, I would ask that you remain at Fort Old Manor and inform the Count of our decision. Tell him that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn mean to do all in their power to ensure that Ishgard and her people survive. Yes, sir! Why are we going that way? That is not the way. Ooh. Do. This is the first time that we get to go to the seat of the Lord Commander.
I want the defenses of the Outer Ward rechecked. See to it that the ballistas are in good repair and supplied with enough ammunition for a prolonged siege.
Yes, sir.
At once, my lord.
Timorous Temple Knights. Hi.
Ah, 'twould seem I have visitors. And unlike those massing beyond our walls, these ones are welcome.
Pray forgive us for interrupting you in the midst of your preparations, Sir Emmerich, but our suit concerns the impending assault. To speak plain, we believe there is a chance the invasion might be halted before it even begins. I can divulge little more at this time, but I must nevertheless request that you advise the Holy See to refrain from launching any preemptive sorties whilst we seek to put our plans in motion.
I will gladly lend my support to any endeavor that could spare the blood of my countrymen, but I would know more of the cause you would have me champion. Will you not share aught of this mysterious undertaking?
Know that I have offered my lance to aid in this endeavor. I cannot claim that its success is assured, but our actions should serve to delay Nidhogg's advance at the very least. Which is more than can be said for the ill-conceived counterattack advocated by the sea's more vocal crusaders. They offer glorious death, but little hope of victory.
Yeah, again, the Crusaders and Zealots want glorious deaths and noble deaths, but victory, not so much on their table.
Aye, their proposal does not inspire confidence. Our resources should rightly be spent shoring up the city's defenses. The Azure Dragoon and the Warrior of Light sallying forth together to face the dread worm Nidhogg.
Do it.
I must admit the mere thought of it does much to dispel my misgivings. Go then, carry out your plan. I shall do what I can for you within the Holy See.
Oh, Emmerich, you would not like the plan if you found out what it was. Having secured Sir Emmerich's support, we may proceed without fear of a preemptive Ishgardian attack, which is not to say we can afford to dither. History tells us that the Dravanians will attack as soon as the horde reaches a critical size. Before that happens, we must needs track down and win over the Lady Icehearts, and then locate and parley with Nidhogg. In short, time is against us. If you are ready, Estinian, let us be about our task. And here's the table of the Knights 12.
Such commotion.
Yes, Your Eminence. The bells of the Observatorium warn of our enemy's approach.
So, the dragons are coming. Let them come, in their hundreds and their thousands. With the divine blade in our hands, we shall rend their flesh and drown the heretics in their master's blood. Even Nidhogg and his foul brood shall be powerless to resist us. And when we have rid the world of their pestilence, we shall turn our attention to our Ascian allies. See that they are suitably rewarded for their invaluable assistance.
If I may, Your Eminence, the Paragons wield powers strange and unknowable. Can we be certain that they will not see through our deception?
We can be certain of naught save the righteousness of our cause. If you would be a true leader of men, you must possess conviction as well as caution.
We seek to excise the root of an evil that has blighted us for 1,000 years. The risk is worth the reward.
And what of Estinian and this Warrior of Light? They have plans of their own.
Leave them to their purpose. We must each play the role we have been given. You and your chosen brothers most of all.
For the glory of King Thordan.
What's he done there? For the glory of King Thordan. That was not King Thordan, that was Archbishop Thordan. King Thordan was the guy that founded Ishgard. We get a wind-up Alphino for this. Perfect for international summits, family get-togethers, pre- or post-battle gatherings, or any other occasion where the recapitulation of past occurrences is absolutely positively necessary. Before we set forth, we must needs inform Tataru of our plans. Then I shall await you at the Sonrinit's Forum. Tell your friend we may be some time. The road you have chosen is neither short nor easy. Of that I need no reminding. Come, let's make back to Hasfortomp. Quite a few level 51 quests have now opened up. Our course is set, Tataru. It may be some time before Demajen and I return to Ishgard. We're going hunting. Well, just you be careful, alright? Oh, and don't worry about me. I'll be busy listening out for news of our lost friends. If anyone can find them, it is you, Tataru. Farewell for now. Oh, before you go, you must put this on Alphino. I made it specially. You mean to say he's not? He's going to? No, I couldn't possibly. Oh, very well. Alphino's got some new threads. By the 12th, it fits perfectly, and the quality is actually rather good. I'm glad you like it. I've been practicing my needlework while I listen to rumours and the like. A good receptionist is always learning new skills. And including goldsmithing and metalwork, by the look of it. My thanks to Taro. Whatever else awaits me upon the road, I shall not fear the cold. Because if you remember, he's been moaning about the cold for pretty much all of the quests that we were doing in Kurthus up till this point. 'Twas the least I could do. Now, I must be getting back to the tavern or I'll never catch up with all the gossip. Best of luck on your journey. So we no longer need to worry about Alphino in his dumb tights. Right. Yes, I'm this lazy. Okay. You have said your farewells then? Aye, we are ready to depart. I suggest we begin our search for Lady Iceheart without delay. Very well, but she will prove an elusive quarry. Where do you intend to start looking? In the absence of any fresh intelligence on Izel's movements, I propose we pick up the trail where she was encountered last, the Curth's Western Highlands. Let us speak with Sir Redwald, was it? As the commander of Falcon's Nest, it's likely you'll know if any heretic activity has been reported in the area. We get a nice little flight in. Good to check out some of the scenery. Ooh, what's that down there? There's a cave or something down there. I have never noticed that. Go and check that out. Just realised how close to falling off the cliff Falcon's Nest is. Well, well, Mistress Thornley, what business brings you back to Falcon's Nest? Judging by the company you keep, it can be no trifling matter. The Azure Dragoon I know, of course, but I do not believe I've met this young gentleman. Anthony Levier, at your service, and you are not mistaken as to the gravity of our mission, Sir Redwald. As I'm sure you are aware, the Observatorian has warned that the Dravanians gather for another assault. We believe there may yet be a way to avert this coming conflict, but only if we can find the elusive Lady Icehearts. Thus have we come to Falcon's Nest in the hope of acquiring the latest intelligence on the heretics' movement. I see. Then you'd be best served by speaking directly to my men. The patrol is due to return from its sweep on the surrounding lands at any moment. You may also wish to question the knights assigned to pick over the remains of the heretic refuge at Gorgain? At the mills. It is possible they've unearthed information that could be of use to you. Mistress Thornley knows well the place I speak of, for it was she who first discovered it. Let us divide our forces then. I will stay and await the return of the patrol, while the two of you visit this refuge. When I have completed my inquiries, I shall join you there. A wise use of our time. Come, I am eager to learn what Sir Redwald's men have found in the heretic's lair. It is, however, a little bit of a trek. Because we've got to go all the way over here. One of the main complaints about the changes from FF14's version 1 to version 2 was the breaking up of the massive zones into smaller areas with kind of zone lines. And this was one of the responses to that. The fact that, okay, you want big zones, we'll give you massive zones. And the problem with massive zones, of course, is that if you are running back and forth across them on Chocobo back, it takes a bloody long time. Which is, of course, why they have flying in the game as well. But flying brings with it its own problems, as World of Warcraft has discovered multiple times. To the extent they've been trying to cut out flying as many ways as they can. It kind of worked in Wrath of the Lich King that you'd actually have to have a manual to describe to you how you could fly in the cold weather of Northrend. But for the subsequent expansions, it didn't really make a huge amount of sense. But that's World of Warcraft for you. Mistress Thornley, findings you say? Well, there is something of a tale there. No sooner had we chanced upon a promising-looking sheaf of letters than we were ambushed from the shadows by great white beasts. It would seem the heretics foresaw our coming and left behind their pets to discourage further investigation. Several of our number were badly wounded. And you cannot carry out your duties until the creatures are slain. We have not the time to wait for reinforcements. Let us deal with these pets ourselves. Oh dear, the creature took me by surprise. Forgive me. Until my hands stop shaking, I fear I shall prove more a hindrance than a help. Pray go on ahead, and when you are certain that the rest of these things have been slain, notify the expedition leader that it's safe to return. Alphino, you have seen battle before. Ooh, hello. A polar bear and a war bear. Anything in here that I missed the first time around? There's a door there that we can't get through. And a cell. Right. Yes, for now we did indeed encounter more of the beast. Fortunately, we are awesome. Oh, hello, it's an inn. The beast is slain then. My thanks, Mistress Thornley. We may return to our duty without fear of a mauling. Why do we get the wind-up Alphino pet for that? Is it because it is fun to wind up Alphino? In an attempt to secure funding for the financially strapped organisation, the Crystal Braves treasurer took it upon himself to have 300,000 crafted and delivered to Rowena's House of Splendours for sale, where they have been collecting dust ever since. Does he point? I'm sure I just saw him pointing. Oh, he's there. Waving. Randomly we get some rank 4 material for this. From one heretic to another. You wish to track down Lady Iceheart. Lady Iceheart, is this not so? The records we discovered before these beasts mauled my comrades appear to be some manner of correspondence. We've not the luxury of perusing the contents more closely, intent as we were on surviving an onslaught of fang and claw, but I wager those epistles contain more than friendly salutations betwixt lonely heretics. My interrogation of the patrols proved fruitless. Either we divine some clue from these letters, or we wander the snowfields and pray that the gods lead us right to Iceheart's door. It is hardly a choice at all. So, back in we go, and hope that we can find some clue. As to be said, I do not run in a very heroic way. Certainly do not run in a manly way. Have you recovered much of the Heretics' correspondence? Yes, I have. Splendid. Added to the contributions from Master Levier and Sir Stinian, we now have more than a dozen letters. What have we here then? Every one of these pages is a record of the dealings betwixt the Gorganian Mills, heretics, and their fellows in the Ffxiv amphitheatre. There are requests for foodstuffs, clothing, and all manner of provisions. Iceheart's followers must yet inhabit the ruins we thought abandoned. The Ffxiv amphitheatre, the very place where you witnessed the manifestation of the primal Shiva, was it not? If that is our destination, the journey will be long indeed. The amphitheatre lies on the other side of a treacherous tract of ice and snow that cannot swiftly be crossed. Here we must place our faith in the Ethernets. As you may recall, our dear friend Moonrida succeeded in recreating the Ffxiv beacon after it had been destroyed by Lady Iceheart. At the time, it was assumed that the resultant aetherite would only be temporarily viable, but given that the heretics of Gorganian Mills seem to have been in regular contact with their brethren at the amphitheatre, I'd wager it still functions. I suggest we make for the aetherite within Snowcloak without delay. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gastinian, but in the course of mapping the Snowcloak tunnel system, a passage was discovered leading out into the Western Highlands, was it not? Might it be possible for us to reach the aetherite from this side of the wall? It should. House Druidare posted soldiers at the Western Highlands entrance after the tunnels were cleared, but they will not deny us entry. I lost the stairs for a moment. Hello, random paladin. Okay, so where are these? This place has atmosphere. There's something about snow and ice and storm clouds and frosty trees and black iron that really does add to a sense of atmosphere. We need to go over the bridge, don't we? Oh, is that what that cave thing that I saw earlier was? Maybe I had been to it before. It seems to be in about the right place. The Warrens. Mayhap. Certainly seems to be roughly in the right place. Let's go and find out. Yes, this is what we saw. It's been blocked off. Oh, where we actually want to be though is down here. What ails our young lord? The moment we arrived at the wall, his face took on an ashen pallor. Does he fear facing the heretics within their own lair? Do you recall the first time you ventured into these tunnels in search of Lady Isart? It seems an age ago, does it not? Back then I still believed myself the commander of the Crystal Braves. Yes. Ah, the guests of House Fortomp, accompanied by the Azure Dragoon, no less. I cannot imagine what brought you out this far, but you are welcome to enter the tunnels if that is your will. Assuming the Akafar beacon still functions, and we must pray to the tribe it does, we shall arrive at our destination in mere moments. Though I do not expect to be greeted by the primal Shiva, we should nevertheless be prepared for a frosty reception. The heretics are not like to rejoice at the appearance of uninvited guests, particularly ones with our history. I don't think we have to face Shiva. An impressive structure. I wonder how many ages it has endured. Mayhap you should ask its occupants. They seem a friendly bunch. Oh, hello. Dogs, O Ishgard! It's not enough that you banish our beloved saint. Will you not be satisfied until the ice is slicked with the last drops of our blood? Stay your weapons. We come under the flag of parley. We wish only to speak with your mistress that we might broker a peace. Do you think us a fool, boy? It'll take more than honeyed words to earn our trust. You walk with the Dragon Slayer, and we all know too well what he is capable of. My reputation precedes me. They give us little choice. Come, brothers, may dragon wings bear us to victory. You'll notice that on the whites, it gave us a blue circle.
Your guard is down.
Oh, the blue one was this new, it's not ours. We saw that. On certain surfaces, it does give you a slightly different coloured surface. Ooh! Wow. Hi. So these guys actually drink dragon blood. I don't know where else these particular models are used. No fire for you. Probably go and help Alpha now. Ooh.
us.
Know your folly.
Ah. This guy has very easy to spot attack telegraphs. Bit of fireball when he does that. Hey Alphina, you going to come join in? No, he did. They fight like demons. It is death to remain. Fall back, brothers. Retreat to the cinders. I see no sign of Lady Iceheart. Would that we could have questioned one of them. What would you ask that we do not already know? They make for the cinders, and so must we. Even should an ambush await us, 'tis certain there will be more heretics to question. The cinders, you say? I confess the name is unknown to me. Perhaps you would be so good as to enlighten us, Justinian. I suspect it is the heretic's way of referring to the Dreaming Dragon, an island of sorts found in the midst of the frozen lake of Ashpool. Some 500 years past, 'tis told that the Azure Dragoon of that age fought a dragon of titanic proportions. After a savage struggle, the mighty creature was weakened to the point of death and forced into a magic slumber by an entire chapter of the Holy Sea's sorcerers. Before long, a rain of ash and cinders began to fall upon the sleeping serpent's motionless form, covering the creature at length in a shroud of grey. Of course, a thick layer of ice has since formed on top of it, but you may be sure we speak true. A fascinating tale. We should make haste to this ashen isle. The Dreaming Dragon lies far to the west. Before we approach the frozen beast, however, there is another place I would visit first. I am told the convictors have set up a camp in Twin Pools. Their leader, Jean Telot, may have information of use to us. Ah, but perhaps you are not familiar with that name either. The convictors are dragon slayers, after a fashion, but I am willing to wager they have encountered their fair share of heretics. If we are indeed walking into a trap, I would learn all there is to know of our foe. A sound suggestion. Let us meet with these convictors then and temper our haste with a measure of caution. It's a bit of a jaunt over to the convictors' camp in Twimpool. That area up there you will be able to get to later, but only through flying. It's got some level 56, 57-ish stuff. that's the Ashen Dragon that we're heading for. Right, speak with Jean-Talo. He's around here. There's a couple of fates that spawn really close to the Convictors camp. Let us talk to the Chocobo Keep. Opens up the flight point to there. And here we have Jean-Talo. I seem to recall that talking to him will open up a wide variety of quests. Well, well, what do we have here? Open to join the esteemed ranks of the Convictors, are we? The hard-eyed lass looks promising, but you've a frail look about you, boy. I'll give you 3 days before the wilds claim your corpse. I beg your pardon. Be not so quick to judge. I have seen this frail youth fell heretics with the flick of his wrist. And who are you to question? By the Fury! That armour, that lance, the Azure Dragoon himself graces our camp. Pray, forgive my disrespect, sir. I am Jean-Talo, leader of the Convictors and fellow slayer of dragons. Might I ask what winds, fair or foul, carry into our humble camp? Ah, Lady Iceheart, is it? Aye, I know her by reputation, but I'm afraid I've seen nothing of her or her people. That said, my own men can be somewhat lax when it comes to making reports. You may wish to question them yourselves. Thank you, we shall. Demajen, Estinian, let us make our way through the camp and see what information there is to be had. Mount speed in the Curthus Western Highlands has been increased. Right, you'll notice that there are several quests here. That's just a normal one, but chances are it's got a nice long quest line. What we're interested in these ones with the blue unlocks, because we want the ether currents. I'm not going to read these out because they're not part of the main story. Right, the first one will have us kill rooms, which are these rather cute little jelly mobs. That's the one. That's a 2. Well, that's a 3. woolly yak. And this other quest opens up the first dungeon of the expansion for us, which we are admittedly a little bit high level for. It's also technically optional. You don't have to do this as part of the main story quest, but if you want to fly in this zone, then it's not really optional. So we are going to do it. There's a massive winged beast in there. Let's turn that off. Oop. We're getting towards the prime time. Well, we are at prime time, I suppose, so dungeon queues will pop a lot quicker. Plus we're into Heavensward content. Some DPS is about to lose his queue place. There we go. So this will cap us at 53? Bombs, we've got some battler. So we get to fight our way up to the main place. Caps us at 52. Hello. Right. Let's buff up. Eat some food. So we get to use salted earth, which is nice. Now, a lot of Dark Knights, higher level Dark Knights, as in better Dark Knights, will, once they've got sufficient aggro on things, they will drop out of grit and they will do some damage. But that's generally only if they are super duper... Not that way, this way. If they are super duper geared. We are not super duper geared. So these Mylodons will leap down. And notice that there's a griffin there. Because we've got a red mage in the party, I'm doubling up on the aggro. Griffin will fly off when we get close. So that's the winged beast. Get back here. I think in 4.0 they made it so that you get a useful piece of equipment from all dungeons level 51 plus. So in theory, we should get something equipment-wise from here. This is actually a reasonably long dungeon as well. What have we actually got? 60, 65, 67. Oh, so I'm the low B. I'm taking quite a lot of damage. This is the, you can't get through the door there until you find a lever for the winch. And weirdly, you get that lever from killing this guy. This takes us to the first boss, which is the Towering Oliphant. Get out of his way when he does that. He will turn and he will charge somebody, knocking them down, drawing them to him, and then throwing them up into the air. Makes them, stuns them for a few seconds. Oops. It quite regularly happens to a healer. That prehistoric trumpet does room-wide damage. If you're a paladin, you can cover whoever gets beaten on like that. We are no longer a paladin. Either way, the Towering Oliphant is dead. Rogue Ninja. I'm not entirely sure why this white mage keeps insisting on medicaturing everybody. It's very inefficient. This bit's fun. If you remember in the story, it said the forces of the Dusk Vigil had been left behind. And this is what has become of them. There are a couple of waves of these. I'm sure there's a treasure coffer somewhere. Yeah. Oop. Stack them up. They died quite easily with a good chunk of AoE. Go through the backs. Good work, healer. That wasn't even that many mobs. You got melted. In that case, I shall not pull both packs. I suspect the reason I got melted is because he was concentrating on casting Medica 2, which again is not massively useful. It's not like there's a lot of mobs here. Right, now we get a load of people to There's another treasure coffer in here. It's got some dye in it. Okay. White dye at that. Right, this is the second boss. It's Sir Helmeric. He's a fun fight. He's a frosty soldier. He's got a circle AoE. And he will summon you shall summon some friends. Best to kill those ASAP. Ouch. There we go. Ton of loot that nobody else in this group needs because they're all well ahead of it. Right, this is the inner keep. Around the corner here there's a wolf. Not a wolf, lizard thing. The wind will frostbite you with some regularity. But not for long. It's just enough to make you think you need to move when actually you really don't. More treasure coffers. Lots of healer stuff. You notice the music in here, there is no battle music, and the music that is in there is a slightly remixed version of the music that we hear outside in the Highlands. Right, second set of ice sprites here, but they also they will summon friends. that wall there, we will get some zoblins, which are teeny tiny goblins. They are pretty weak. I seem to recall there should be 2 groups of them. Yeah, that's it. As you can see, incredibly weak. You can see the griffin again in the background, and chances are you're probably so focused on him that you miss the wolf. Whew. And here we go, final boss. I love this arena. Statue of Haloni there. There's the jewel that we're looking for. Okay, this boss has only actually got a couple of mechanics. It's got Alpine Draft, which is a charge, or charged attack. Free Fall, which is an actual charge where I'll leap on people. The ones that you really need to watch out for, however, are Whirling Gale, where you want to stand around the room like this, keeping rocks in between you and the boss. Otherwise that happens. He will drop a plentiful supply of rocks down. If you are standing on, right, Winds of Winter is a debuff which lowers your wind resistance. You can hide from it behind the rocks. You can't fall off the edge of the arena, just in case anybody wanted to know. No, we're gonna have to eat this. Oh, there we go. I did get a pair of trousers. They're probably too low level now. Wow, that outfit. A martial halberd. That's no use to us. Yeah, so we've got some Ishgardian Knight's trousers. But they're not quite as good. So there we go. That is the Dusk Vigil. And we got the little stone that we needed as well. Oh, it stopped snowing for at least a little while. So we shall take these back to the Convictor's camp. We can see in this menu here that there are 4 quest related, and however many that is walk related, exploration. So this will give us 2 out of the 4 that we need. You often get them from main story quests. Room, get a room. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Can also go and get the level 54 Dark Knight quest to get Plunge. Slowing those rooms, yes we have. That's 1 ether currents. We have the ice rondel. And we don't get the next one for a while. Camp of the Convictors. Alphino is eager to gather information. Surely one of these people who have encountered heretics while out hunting? Pray speak with as many as you can. Nay, I know no heretics. Do you honestly expect me to keep track of every Ratemu, Viramon and Bertinent that wanders in and out of camp? Are there any heretics in the area? I have not the faintest idea why a heretic could pass under my nose and I should be none the wiser. I hunt dragons, my dear lady, the big ones. Forever do I scan the skies for signs of my prey. I care not for the miserable creatures that scurry up on the ground. Looking for heretics, you say? Why don't you go and bother Pierre or someone? I've enough trouble keeping these breeding fops fed and clothed as it is. 'Tis no business of mine what folk do with themselves out there in the wilds. So basically, none of you are any real help. You though. Something I can help you with, milady. Heretics, is it? Well, I've never seen one myself, but that is to say I haven't heard a thing or two. We would be grateful for any information you can share with us. The gods know we've gleaned precious little from talking to the rest of these people. If you please, my lord, I'm Pirike, a soldier by trade, though not much of one, if I'm honest. It went for the love of stabbing folk that I took up the spear, see? Now it was by order Sir Jeantelet's father. Jeantelot, even. Jeantelot. Still, as long as they keep paying my wages, I ain't fussy as to what they have me do. Not everyone's as patient as me, though. Plenty of low-born lads who get pressed into service start grumbling before this in their second battle. And once they got to thinking how unfair it all is, don't take much for the heretics to turn their heads. From what I hear, the simple promise of freedom tends to do it. That may explain how Lady Iceheart was able to expand her following so quickly. Sad to say, some mates of mine gobbled down the heretics tribe and asked for seconds. Told me they were off to the Western Islands to light a signal fire. That's how you let the heretics know you're serious about joining the ranks, apparently. Send up some purple smoke and the bastards come to you. Is that so? Well then, I'm minded to start a fire. If we are to lure our foes to our position, then we must find a means of producing a signal of purple hue. As it so happens, I once heard the tale of a trapper who dropped the hide of a woolly yak onto his campfire. Aside from the terrible stench, the story also described in detail how the smoke from the smothered flames was tinged to deep violet. You are a monster hunter of some note, are you not? It should prove a trifling task for you to procure a number of hides. We may need to burn more than one before the heretics notice our beacon. Master Alphino, you and I shall gather wood for the fire. I will take the both of us to find enough dry fuel in this frozen wasteland. Let us meet again at the Dreaming Dragon with the fruits of our labour. So, what do you unlock? Kill some bears. Care bear. Help! I'm being attacked by bears. Oh man, really yawning. Need to kill 4 bears. Fortunately, there are many. Right. That's those. We need to go and kill a mammoth. No, a yak. 3 yaks. 2 yaks. Dos yak. Ugh. Ooh. Maybe not yet though. 2. Right. First of all, let us hand this quest in. Obtains 3 cans of yak milk. Delicious. Take that. That should give us just the one more that we get from completing this. Generally speaking, you get the ether currents just as you are about to leave the zone. Oop. I seem to recall it's atop that rock that we need to go. Yep. It would seem that collecting firewood is a new experience for Master Alphino. His must have been a privileged upbringing. Have we the hides we need? Purple smoke.
Ah, I should have known it would be you.
Oh, really?
Word reached me of a struggle with a small but well-armed band of trespassers. Forgive my comrades their hostility. Few come here uninvited, and fewer still with good intent. Now, tell me why you are here. So, you seek to stem the Dravanian tide with talk? A romantic notion. If you but knew the truth, the spark which lit the flames of this animosity, you would understand the futility of your quest. Shall I relate it to you? The sordid history my gift has shown me. That which the Holy See has taken such pains to suppress.
What? People in charge suppressing the truth? That's a new one.
"'Twas more than a millennium past when an Elezen tribe first sought to claim the lands of Kurthas as its home. Unfortunately for them, Kurthas was already home to dragonkind, and they were not inclined to make way for the invaders. Thus did a bloody war begin. A war which might well have rumbled on until one or the other side was exterminated, had it not been for the resolve of a single woman. That woman's name was Shiva. While those around her fought and died, she attempted to parley with the dragons, and in so doing discovered them to be possessed of profound intelligence and reason. The great worm Hraesvelgar, in particular, so enchanted Shiva that she found herself growing to love the creature, whom her people considered a monster. In the eyes of a near-immortal dragon, however, the fleeting life of an Elezen is as that of a freshly cut rose. Scarce has the flower bloomed before it begins to fade and wither. Such melancholy musings plagued Hraesvelgar, who had found in Shiva an unexpected and beloved soulmate. He knew that all too soon, death would snatch her away from him. Unable to bear the thought of their separation, the maid bid the worm consume her, that their spirits might be entwined for eternity. Though loath to perform the deed, Hraesvelgar ultimately gave in to her plea, and soon thereafter the tale of their ill-fated love spread throughout the two warring factions. No more could they raise blade or claw against one another, knowing that the souls of their kin were so inextricably bound.
I love Ffxiv design, that multi-tiered wing.
In the days that followed, man and dragon learned to live in harmony, and together built a nation unlike any the world had ever known. For 200 years did this blissful age of peace continue, as it would to this day, had vilest envy not stirred in the hearts of the Elezen.
Uh-oh.
It is said that worms owe their longevity to the boundless reserves of vitality found within their eyes. And 'twas in this belief that a traitorous band of knights deceived their allies of some 2 centuries, and took by force that which they coveted. Nidhogg, he who now stands poised to unleash his wormlings upon Ishgard, was the great dragon who lost an eye to Elezen treachery. And until he prizes it from the hands of the traitor's progeny, no amount of conciliatory words will stay his fury.
And that's the plot. Well, kind of Heavensward.
You are wrong, Lady Iceheart. Lest you misunderstand, I do not doubt your vision of the past. 'Tis true that Nidhogg greatly desired to reclaim the Eye. Indeed, it was for that very reason that I kept it with me as I roamed the land, attempting to draw him away from the city.
In fact, he's still got it.
Good gods!
Until recently, Nidhogg seemed unable to resist its allure and pursued me relentlessly. Needless to say, that is no longer the case. Now, it would seem, he has fixed his attention on Ishgard itself, though he knows full well the Eye does not reside there.
So it's not locked in the vault.
You believe he targets the capital for another reason?
I believe reason has all but left him. Through the Eye, I feel much of what Nidhogg feels, and the dragon's thirst for vengeance will not be quenched by aught less than a sea of blood.
If Nidhogg is indeed lost to reason, might we not seek an audience with Ffxiv instead? He has thus far shown no inclination to aid in the invasion of Ishgard, and may yet welcome our efforts to broker a peace.
You still believe that a peaceable solution can be found? Very well. I will take you to him.
It's a bit of a trek, mind you.
Our road will lead us to Dravania, the homeland of dragonkind. There we shall ascend unto the clouds, where Ffxiv resides.
Uh-oh. This hasn't happened in a while. A reconnection. We have reconnected to the crystal of ice? Ice. The connection that Midgard's summer had sealed away.
Is aught amiss, my friend?
Nah, I'm fine.
I sense the many battles are beginning to take their toll. Rest a while, and should you lose sight of us, Dravania lies beyond the mountains to the west.
Cheers, Alphino.
Curious. The vestiges of thy mistress's blessing are not as faint as once they were. Thy will to succeed grants thee unusual fortitude. But will it be enough?
Yeah, so the last dregs of Hydaelyn's blessing have strengthened. Purple flame, purple flame. And that gives us the Freebird achievement. And now we can't fly on our chocobo yet. So what we actually need is to summon a mount that can actually fly. Can Sildra fly? That failed. Sildra can fly. As can the Black Chocobo, obviously. Magitech armor also can. Have they made the Arrowman able to fly yet? Yes, they have. Didn't used to be able to. Behemoth, shockingly, cannot. But the Griffin most certainly can. So we have options. Can the Legacy Chocobo? No, it can't. And the Kill definitely can't. Right, and this will take us into Dravania. You are Demajen, yes? Pray address me as Giselle, if you wish. 'Tis passing strange, is it not, that fate should bring us together thus? Never did I think to walk alongside the Warrior of Light. But history is full of such unexpected alliances. Shall we make our way into Dravania, then? The chill of the Western Highlands is unrelenting, and I would sooner be under the sheltering canopy of the Chocobo Forest. So we can now fully explore and fly over all of the Western Highlands. Just in time, of course, for us to leave them. For the Dravanian Forelands, where we will be on foot once again. Cutscene.
Beyond Abalathia's spine, the great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of Som-Al, where lies the ancient home of dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the skies seethe with sinuous shapes, they came.
And there's neither current there straight away, but we can't fly here. We now stand on the threshold of Dravania, the path to Som Al will take us far to the west, beyond the embrace of the forest's branches. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest at the village up ahead and see that we are properly provisioned? There's a village here, but I thought these lands the sole domain of dragonkind. Why would anyone choose to live in so perilous a place? The wild chocobos. Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Marchamp, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival, and he will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections. Only to this ceaseless chatter. If we are to meet this acquaintance of yours, let us do it before Ishgard burns. So a lot of the fun is going to be the banter between Izel and Estinian on this journey. They will come to respect each other. And you'll notice now that we are ground bound, we no longer have the movement speed, so we are back to being quite slow. I've always thought though that the ground-bound griffin feels slower. It's not. It just feels slower than Chocobo because I think of the animation. Chocobo keep. There's a ether current over here. So let's attune to this first. Let's speak with Malsasham. Well, damn my hide and call me Leatherface. We have visitors. Aho, and if it ain't the lovely Izel. It's been too long, girl. That it has, Malsasham, that it has. My companions and I are on a pilgrimage to Som Al. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while and prepare for the next leg of our journey? Oh, of course. Stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragons have been absolutely bleeding murderous of late. Forgive me, sir, but I'm not sure I understand. Did the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Bother us? Did Giselle not explain things to you, boy? You've seen them towering Calum trees all about, haven't you? If you were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. And as you'd expect, the local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere, and we can do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. Nah, I know it won't stop us earlier, but the dragons aren't the only things we need to keep an eye out for, especially if we set heading west. These are all basically identical. And I think there is a quest available to get your chocobo flying. Ffxiv seems to have chocobos on his mind, isn't this? Hold on. Chocobo. Oh. The quest that we want is back in Ishgard. Ooh, we've also got Kester Ironheart here, who, as I'm sure you can imagine, we've got Milith sightseeing log. And this is Kester, who is a cousin to Milith and also an explorer. He will open up the sightseeing log for Heavensward, which is a damn sight easier than the Realm Reborn one. Right, I've attuned to this, haven't I? Yeah. Right, just going to head back to Foundation. And that's the one we want. I believe I can fly. And this will enable our normal chocobo to fly. Phew, pardon me for saying so, friend, but you stink. Not an unpleasant stink, mind you, rather you stink a chocobo. A distinctive scent for which I must confess a certain fondness. Not the musky aroma of a wild bird, nor the common scent of a rental chocobo's carried thousands. No, yours is a stink singular and true. Would I be correct to surmise that you're the proud owner of your very own bird? Of course I am. As a chocobo trainer, I practically sleep in these stables. Gives you a nose for this sort of thing, if you catch my drift. But enough about me. You must tell me all about your faithful steed. Kraken is it? A fine name that. And issued by your Grand Company, you say? I know the Grand Companies are all here to have many fine birds in their ranks, but if all you say is true, I dare say your bird's a particularly stalwart specimen. What's this? Your bird's even been trained in the four times methodology. I knew I detected a cultured aroma in that sense. Why, I've not sniffed such a remarkable bird in 10, no 20 years. Such singular strength and intellect. Why, it wouldn't surprise me if your bird could learn to fly. I can assure you this is no jest. Whilst it's true that only chocobos black of feather and natural born flies, there are records of other breeds that have been trained to take to the skies. I can understand your scepticism, but to a student of chocobo breeding such as myself, this is little surprise. After all, the flyers and the flightless possess common ancestry. The grounded birds do not lack the physical capacity, but they've merely forgotten how for lack of necessity. I dare say that if any chocobo could be trained to take to the heavens like his feathered forefathers, it's yours. What say you, friend? My brother Prior Fay is a chocobo trainer at Tailfeather and something of an expert in these training methods. Bring your bird to him and I tell you, friend, the sky's the limit. So back to Tailfeather. Hi, dude. You must be the one Ornelline spoke of. Oh yes, there's no mistaking it. That is the scent of a remarkable bird. A bird who is destined for the heavens. But why are we talking when we could be flying? Yes, let us begin the training without further ado. The process of teaching a flightless chocobo to soar involves awakening the instincts of its flying forebears that lie dormant within. The most efficient way to do so is allow it to experience the life of a wild bird. Take the chocobos that run free through the chocobo forest. These birds subsist on wild fruits and berries, but to secure sustenance, they must fight for their lives against hordes of vicious insects. Yes, if your kraken were to experience the thrill and fear of staring down the bee clouds of Dravania, it might not be long before the blood of a flyer stirs within those veins. And that is what we shall do in another episode. Because we're up to 2 3/4 hours and it's time for tea. So, thank you all for joining me. It is time for us to take a break. We'll be back at some point. Maybe not tonight, but soon. For now, toodle pip.